She promised we'd always be close. She just didn't mention she meant as stepmother and daughter. You and your friend were practically inseparable from the moment you met, first day of third grade. She sat next to you because her name came right after yours on the roll call. That's how it started. Sleepovers turned into routines. Friday night, movies, sneaking snacks into your room, whispering secrets under covers. She was there for everything, every scraped knee, every failed math test, every heartbreak. You didn't even call her your best friend. She was just family. She blended into your world so naturally. Your birthdays, she was in every photo, sometimes even lighting the candles. Family gatherings, your uncles joked she might as well be your parents' second daughter. But really, it was just your dad. Your mom left when you were too young to remember much, or maybe she passed away or divorced your dad and cut contact. Whichever version you told people, the hole she left was the same. Your dad tried his best, overworked, emotionally exhausted, but present. And your friend. She always seemed to get him, not in a weird way. Not at first, just polite. Too polite. Maybe she laughed at his dumb jokes when even you rolled your eyes. Helped him clean up after dinner while you were still finishing your plate. You told yourself she was just being nice, respectful. Maybe she felt bad that he had to raise you alone. You never questioned her intentions because why would you? This was your person. The one who held your hand at your grandma's funeral. The one who covered for you when you snuck out. The one who sat with you in the kitchen after another explosive fight with your dad, listening to you rage and cry and say he just doesn't get it. She'd nod, bite her lip, and say, I know he's stubborn, but he's trying. You remember that now she always defended him, even when you were too upset to see reason. She'd step in, playing devil's advocate, but gently lovingly. You thought she was helping you both understand each other. You never realized she might have been choosing a side. There were little moments in hindsight that feel like warning signs, like the time you found them deep in conversation on the porch, laughing at something you didn't hear. You came outside and they both quieted, like you'd walked in on something. You shrugged it off. Maybe he was just telling an embarrassing story about you. Another time, she bought him a birthday gift, a cologne you didn't even know he wore. You asked how she picked it, and she said, Oh, I just noticed he was running low. That was the first time you felt something tighten in your chest. But again, you told yourself, no, she's your best friend, your sister in everything, but blood. There's no way she'd ever cross that line. And your dad? No, that'd be ridiculous. Gross. He would never. You carried on. You grew up, and she was still there. Every fight you had with your dad, she knew. Every wound, every grudge, every vulnerable truth. She was your sounding board. You trusted her more than anyone. And you had no idea what she was doing with that trust. It started small. About a year ago, she began pulling away. At first, you chalked it up to life. People get busy. Maybe she was just going through something and needed space. But it felt off. She got weirdly private. You'd ask about her love life, something you two used to joke endlessly about, and she'd dodge every question. It's nothing serious, she'd say, glancing down at her phone with that half smile she used to give when she was lying, but didn't want to admit it. She was always texting someone, always turning her phone face down when you were near. You tried not to let it bug you, but the shift was clear. She stopped inviting you over to her place. No more impromptu movie nights on her couch, no more late-night pasta and vent sessions, but strangely, she still showed up at your house. More than usual, actually. She'd drop by unannounced with some excuse. Oh, I was just in the area, or I had leftovers. I figured your dad might like. Sometimes she'd just hang around the kitchen chatting with your dad while you were in another room. You'd come back and they'd fall silent. You told yourself you were imagining it. Then your dad started acting different, nicer than usual, like weirdly nice, asking if you wanted anything when he went grocery shopping, checking in on how work was going, how your mental health was doing. He wasn't cold before, but he was never this invested. And when you tried to return the favor just to catch up, what about you? You seeing anyone these days, he'd laugh and change the subject. You asked him once if something was going on with him and a woman just fishing. His answer, oh, nothing serious. The same words your friend used, you felt a chill crawl up your spine, but you buried it because the alternative was unthinkable. She picks the restaurant, Some cozy little brunch place you used to love going to together, back when things were normal, before the weird distance, before the secrets. The moment you walk in, you feel off balance. She's already seated, sipping something iced, looking like she slept great, and rehearsed every word she's about to say. You sit down, trying to read her face, trying to figure out if this is an apology, a confession, or something else entirely. And then she just says it. No buildup, no hesitation. I married your dad last weekend, just like that. Your mind blank. There's a rush of heat to your face, a pulse pounding in your ears. You blink, waiting for the punchline, the just kidding them, anything that would make this normal again. But she just looks at you, calm, smug. Almost like she's been waiting to drop this. You stare at her, trying to process what you just hear. What the hell are you talking about is all you manage. She tilts her head like you're the one being unreasonable. I wanted to tell you earlier, but it never felt like the right time. You scoff the right time? You could have told me before you married my father. She has the audacity to sigh. Like this is hard for her. Look, I didn't plan this, it just happened. We started talking more last year, and one thing led to another. You cut her off last year. So all that time, you were dodging questions, lying to my face. You were sneaking around with my dad. She doesn't even flinch. I wasn't lying, I just wasn't ready to talk about it. There's no guilt in her eyes, no shame. Just that same polished, calculated calm she always wore when she wanted to get away with something I never meant to hurt you, she says, rehearsed to perfection. I swear I care about you so much. You can't even hear the rest. Your heart is hammering, your stomach twisting. You think about all the times she sat across from you, nodding sympathetically, while you vented about how disconnected you felt from your dad. All the times she encouraged you to go easy on him, or told you he was trying his best. She wasn't being supportive, she was covering her tracks. And now she's sitting there sipping iced tea, telling you she's your stepmother. Like, this is just some awkward family update. She's not sorry. She doesn't feel sorry. She feels like she won. You go home in a daze. Maybe you drive around first gripping the steering wheel so hard your knuckles go white. Maybe you sit in your car outside the house for 20 full minutes, heart pounding, trying to figure out how to walk inside without screaming. But eventually, you face him. Your dad is in the kitchen acting normal, too. Normal. He gives you a casual, hey kid, like nothing in your life just got flipped inside out. You waste no time. She told me, you say no greeting, no lead up, just that. His face freezes for a split second. That tells you everything. She told me. You repeat louder now. You married my best friend last weekend. He puts his hands up like you're overreacting. Look, I was going to tell you. I didn't want you to freak out. You laugh, sharp and bitter. Freak out. You think that's the problem here, that I'd be too dramatic to handle the fact that my dad is sleeping with the girl I grew up with. He sighs. The kind of sigh meant to make you feel like the irrational one. I know it's weird, I get it. But love, it just happens. You can't plan for it. No, you snap, but you can hide it for a year. You can lie to your daughter's face. You can act like you're the victim when you're the one breaking every line of trust we had. He doesn't answer. You press on. She knew everything about me because I told her, because I trusted her. And you let her sit at our table and play family while you two were sneaking around behind my back. He tries to soften his voice. She makes me happy. And that's when you realize this conversation isn't about right or wrong. It's about what he wants, and what he wants is her word gets out faster than you'd like. Family chats blow up cousins, aunts, people you haven't spoken to in years suddenly feel entitled to opinions. Some are horrified. They use words like gross and creepy and boundary crossing. Others tell you to grow up. It's not that deep. They're both adults. Maybe you're just jealous. She found love. It's the worst of both worlds. Half your family thinks your dad is a predator. The other half thinks you're the drama. You're stranded somewhere in between, feeling like a child in your own life. Like your foundation cracked, and no one cares enough to help you rebuild it. Because the two people you trusted most didn't just betray you. They chose each other over you, deliberately, secretly, and then had the nerve to act like you're the problem for not smiling through it. You're not even sure who you're more angry at, the friend who weaponized your trust, or the father who replaced his daughter with her. It messes with your head in a way you didn't know was possible. Every memory, every sleepover, every whispered conversation, Every moment you thought was safe now feels poisoned. Like your whole childhood got retroactively rewritten without your consent. She used to raid your closet without asking laugh and say you have better taste than me anyway. And you let her because that's what best friends do. You used to fall asleep side by side in your bed, scrolling through your phones, talking about boys you liked while she was probably starting to like your dad. And now she walks through your house like she owns it. She drinks coffee from your family mugs, uses the bathroom down the hall, like it's hers, which technically, now it is. She's there at dinner, commenting on the same shows you once watched together on your laptop in the dark back when it felt like the two of you against the world. But now she is the world you're up against. And your dad? You can't even look at him because he doesn't see it. He doesn't see what he took from you. He talks to her like nothing's changed, like it's all just this happy accident that you'll get used to eventually, but you don't want to get used to it. You feel unmore. Like someone yanked the floor out from under you and expects you to keep standing. You're not angry in the loud, screaming way anymore. It's deeper than that now. Quieter, more hollow. It's the kind of betrayal that gets into your bones. You second guess everything, not just them, but everyone. You wonder if any of your other friends looked at your life and saw something they wanted. You wonder if people were laughing behind your back this whole time. You don't know who to talk to, who to trust, because the person you used to call the second anything bad happened was her. And now she's the bad thing. You try not to be petty, you try not to lash out, but every time she smiles at you with that sweet, fake sympathy, every time your dad asks if you're still mad, like this is just some teenage sulk, you feel like screaming. They want you to adapt, to fold yourself into this twisted version of normal. But all you can think is, she used to be my best friend. Now she's sleeping in my house, and I'm supposed to call her family. Your world fractures. People you've known for years suddenly go quiet. A couple friends say they don't want to get involved, which really just means they already picked a side. Some stop texting back altogether. One even soft unfollows you on Instagram. No goodbye, no explanation, just gone. They're cowards, or maybe they're just conflict averse. Doesn't matter, it still stings, but they rally. They're furious on your behalf. The friends who really know you, who were there through it all. Don't hold back one text. That's not just a betrayal. That's psychological warfare. Another says she was playing the long game. This wasn't an accident, it's disgusting. A couple even cut her off entirely, blocked, deleted, done. No grand gesture, just decisive silence. You didn't ask them to, but it hits you hard when they do. In a good way. Like maybe you're not crazy, maybe this is as twisted as it feels, but then she starts posting. At first, it's subtle a smiling pic of her and your dad at some restaurant. No caption, no context, just soft lighting and fake laughter. Then it escalates. Beach trip, selfish brunch, snaps. A shot of him holding her hand across a table with the caption, "Married my best friend's dad. Not sorry." Clearly aimed at someone, probably you. It feels like a performance, like she's trying to overwrite reality with her curated aesthetic little fairy tale, as if enough filters and captions could turn this mess into a romance. And the worst part, people buy it. Comments roll in cutest couple. You guys look so happy. OMG, you're glowing. You want to scream? You want to type out the truth in all caps in the comments. She married her childhood best friend's father. But you don't, because you know how it'll look. You'll be the bitter one, the jealous one, the drama queen. So you scroll silently. And with every post, every fake smile, every public attempt to paint herself as the doting wife, you feel it sharpen inside you. This isn't just betrayal, this is erasure, a total rewrite. Like she's trying to steal not just your family, but your story too. One morning, you wake up and realize you're done, waiting for apologies that won't come. Done trying to keep the peace, done pretending this situation is anything but toxic. So you go no contact with both of them, no texts, no calls, no replies to the weirdly cheerful messages your dad still sends sometimes, like nothing's wrong. You block her on everything, not out of spite, but in the survival. You need space and silence. You need to stop bleeding energy into people who've shown you exactly who they are. You start therapy. The first few sessions are rough. Mostly you sit there trying to explain how it feels when your best friend turns into your stepmom. It sounds absurd out loud, like something from a soap opera, but your therapist doesn't flinch, just listens, asks the right questions, and helps you slowly, painfully start separating their choices from your worth, because that's the trap, right? Feeling like maybe you weren't enough, that if you'd been a better daughter, a better friend, maybe none of this would have happened, but that's bullshit. And you're finally starting to see it. You begin to unpack everything: years of blurred boundaries, buried resentment, little red flags you gaslit yourself into ignoring. And eventually it hits you. She was never really your friend. She was close. She was convenient. But she wasn't loyal. Real friends don't covet your life and sneak around with your father while you're confiding in them. Real friends don't weaponize your vulnerabilities and then smile like they did nothing wrong. You grieve that realization quietly. Not for her, but for the version of her you believed in. And your dad. That wound cuts deeper. Maybe one day there's room for forgiveness, but not today. Today, you're still learning how to protect yourself, how to draw lines where there used to be blurred loyalties and unspoken trust. You're building a new identity, one that doesn't revolve around being the daughter or the best friend who got left behind. You're still healing, but you're not stuck anymore. And that's something